Maybe I would have been that kind of a person that would just face anyone and I'm like, hey, why don't you have kids? Or maybe when are you planning to have kids? Welcome back. So what is that most weird question that anyone ever asked you? I mean that question that wasn't just weird, but to a certain point left you heartbreaking. So let's start with this simple story. Growing up as a child, okay, I was raised just like any other child, and there is something that I used to believe in as a child. I used to think that every person, every human being goes through the same cycle. Starting from being raised, going to school, starting work, getting married, and the most important thing to me, something that I used to think about, okay, first of all, I loved kids since I was young. I loved kids and I still love them since I was young. So some stage in life that was so special to me was having kids. And I used to think that, okay, every person in life has to have kids at least at some point in life. So it's something that I used to think that has to be part of everyone. And to me, having kids, I used to think that having kids is something that is so automatic, something that just comes, like it has to happen in every person's life. And I think it used to happen that way. I used to think that way because I was raised with so many kids, not just from extended family, but my siblings, like we are 9, I have 8 siblings. And even from the environment that I grew up from, there were kids. Every family had kids, not 1, 2, 3, so many kids. So that is the mentality that I had when I was still young. And I knew at a certain point I would have kids. I knew that every person has to have kids. So when I grew up, I came to see life in another point, at the other side of view. I came to meet people that their only prayer is having a kid. I came to meet women that have even never been pregnant in life, not because of choice, but because that is what it is. I've come to meet people that are just asking God for at least a pregnancy. People that are praying to God for kids, not even specifying about the gender like some of us. So this brings me to today's question, and I know that you've already read the title. There are so many questions that we face in life. There are so many questions that we ask people, not knowing how they'll take them, not knowing how those questions might affect them. And of course, the questions that I'm going to list in this video is not just about when are you having kids, because it's the first thing that I've talked about, but I'm going to share about so many questions. And trust me, some of these questions you can even easily get the information from that person, as long as you know how to phrase the question, as long as you know whom you're asking the question, how connected are you to them, and how much do you know them? Is it the first time to meet them? How will they perceive that question? That is the most important thing. So in today's video, we are going to share about these questions. The first question, like I've already talked about, is when are you having kids? Some people even do phrase it, how come you guys don't have kids? Like, this is not a kind of question. Okay, let's start with this. I might ask this to an 18-year-old. Maybe I'm just asking, when are you planning to have kids? Maybe I'm just asking about the future, or maybe they are my friends. But this is not the same kind of a question that I should ask a couple that has been married for 10 years. I know very well they have no kids. Then how well can you state that question? When are you guys planning to have kids? I don't think it's the right way we can ask such a question. And I'm talking about this because most of the people that I've seen in life not having kids, they are facing such kind of questions in life. And most of the times, the things that I'm going to talk about in this video are things that are already hurting us, things that are already hurting those people. So that means there is no need of you reminding them. So it really depends on how you phrase the question, how connected are you to them. Maybe you already even know their situation, that maybe they have no problem with their fertility, and maybe it's just their choice of not having kids, and you're like, hey, when are you having kids? But it's something that I can ask anyone as long as I know them, as long as I know how to phrase it, as long as I know how they will perceive that question. So the second question is, when are you planning to get married? Like, really, when are you planning to get married? Okay, maybe you can ask this to a person that you're so close to and you share so many stories and you know much about them, or maybe even you know much about their relationship. But asking this to a person that you don't even know about their partner, you don't even know whether they are single, you don't even know what they are facing in life, is not something that I would really think as something that we should ask anyone. Like, maybe I can ask this to a friend that has already shared to me their stories, or just a person that we joke around with. Personally, some people can ask me that question and I feel free to them, maybe depending on how much I share with such people. So the other question is, have you gained weight or have you lost weight? Actually, I used to think that the only thing that affects people that is gaining weight, and because it's something that I always face in life, gaining weight, I've never faced the underweight side. I used to think that it's only all about gaining weight, but then I came to realize that there are even people who are suffering underweight, and all they're thinking about, all they're trying so much to do is at least to gain a pound. So if you ask such questions to such people, you don't know how much it will affect them. And especially, just like I said, mostly, for example, personally, when I gain weight, I'm already suffering with it emotionally. So yes, you can ask me such a question, but depending on how you bring it, depending on how much I am connected to you, so that really matters. How much do you know that person? How, of course, you can be knowing how they will take it. Yeah, how much they will take it. I personally didn't even know that there are people who struggle with weight and they've tried all sorts of things. I used to think that, yeah, when I gain weight, I do dieting, I exercise, and it will work for me. Yes, it works for me, but it doesn't work for every person. Some people just have tried a lot, and if you just keep on reminding them. Question number 4 is, how many people have you slept with? I really find this not just weird but funny. Like, how do you expect me to tell you the number of people that I've slept with? If not me lying to you, then of course it will be something different. It will be something different. Like, this is not a kind of a question that we should ask people. Reason being, first thing, don't expect someone to tell you the right answer about that question. And the other thing, it's so personal. Like, why do you want to know how many people I have slept with? So I personally believe it's a bit personal question. But, well, it also depends on who you're asking the question. Maybe they're your friends, your funny friends that you already know. They are joking, like they are joking people. Yeah, it really matters a lot. So the other question number 5, how much money do you earn? Okay, let's take it this way. I can be free to share how much I earn, how much income I get monthly, how much I save, about my projects, about my business to a certain people. Maybe I know you well, maybe you're close to me, maybe I have a reason to share it to you. But of course, I might not go deep. And of course, to other people, I might not even tell you the truth. So when you're asking such questions, first think about how connected, how close are you to that person. Otherwise, they might think differently. They might think, why is this person asking me such a private or a personal question? What are they planning for me? So think more before you ask such questions. Okay, the other question is almost the same as, when are you planning to have kids? Are you pregnant? Are you pregnant? Like, I used to get this question. I think I've ever got it once when I gained weight. This is not a kind of question that you should ask someone that has gained weight. It's not the right way to ask people, to inform people that they've gained weight. Are you pregnant? Like, are you pregnant? Obviously, if I'm gaining weight and you ask me if I'm pregnant, it will be like an indirect way of telling me that I'm gaining weight. And of course, if I'm good at perceiving such weight gain questions, it will be okay with me, but not every person is okay with that. And to the other person is someone that has been waiting for a kid for so many years, and you start asking them, are you pregnant? It's like you telling them you've taken long without having kids. So mind a lot about how you phrase the questions and whom are you asking this kind of question. How far are you related to them? How much do you know them? The other question is, I think it's the last question, is how old are you? Okay, so, some of the questions that I listed are really depending on different kinds of people. For example, how old are you? Mostly people in their 20s, early 20s, when we are still in early 20s, we are so proud about our age. And the fact that mostly we lie about our age during that stage, it's so easy for someone to say, I'm 21, I'm 24, I'm 25. And of course, when it clocks 25, we get stuck from there. So maybe it might be easy for you to ask someone who is 18, who is 20, 21, that age when we can still lie about our age. You can easily ask such a question. But to ask someone who is above 35, yes, I still say some people are free with it, but not every person. Not every person. So the best thing about all these questions, the main thing is you to know the person that you want to raise that question to, and how well do you raise it. So many people can cancel, mostly I've seen it in counselors, they can get information out of you without you noticing that they've asked you any question. So maybe you can get away of phrasing such questions without you asking such weird questions. For example, there is something that I forgot to talk about. Mostly when you get a call, a friend of yours has given birth, and the first thing you do is to call and you're like, which sex of the baby this time? Okay, something like that. And maybe it would be okay to someone that has been having a baby girl and this time it's a baby boy. But imagine someone that has been having 4 girls and maybe they've been praying for a boy and this time it's still a boy, I mean a girl, and you're just asking them about the gender. It's better if you go to the hospital, or maybe even if you don't go to the hospital, you just ask what is the name of the baby. Of course, that will guide you on what the sex of the baby is, than you asking direct which sex of the baby have you had this. So those are some of the questions that we should really avoid, or just master how to phrase them, or even to know more about the person that you want to fire this question. So those are some of the questions that I wanted us to talk about today. And of course, if there is any other question, kindly write it down in the comment section and let's discuss about this topic. I know that a lot of people are facing depression in life. So many people are facing troubles in life emotionally because of how some of them are even scared of meeting us, because they know when I meet her, she'll ask me when I'm getting married. When I meet her, she'll ask me if I gave birth. When I meet her, she'll ask me this. So to avoid all that, let's be mindful about the questions we ask people. Some questions are personal. Some questions are not that personal, but think about the kind of person that you're raising this question to. And think about the other way around, if it was you being asked the same thing while going through the same situation. Otherwise, thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'm waiting for you in the comment section. Write down which kind of question that you wouldn't really want someone to ask you. I did my research, of course, out of research and out of experience, about just a few questions. I think there were 8 of them. Yeah, I think there were 7 questions, but you can also add to us those questions, and of course, let's learn together. If you're new to this channel, my name is Deborah. I do inspirational videos, vlogs, lifestyle and business related videos. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. I love you all, and bye.